Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the Mighty Jingles. Today we have a Tier 8 standard battle here on the Mines map, starring Biscuit 97 here in the Lansen C, Swedish Tier 8 Premium Medium Tank. Mines can be a bit of a brutal map, especially at higher tiers, because it's one of the smallest, if not the smallest maps in the game. And as you go up the tiers and view ranges get bigger and bigger, as do, well, the tanks, it becomes increasingly difficult to find anywhere to hide on this map. Standard tactics at the start of any match on Mines is for the faster tanks, and well, sometimes the heavier and slower tanks too, to make a rush for the hill right in the middle to take advantage of the commanding views that it does give across the whole of the map. And I do believe that that enemy Hawk is about to severely regret his decision to follow the friendly Lynx. Although it looks like he's actually got the better of the Lynx, but I can't see him surviving this. Yeah, he has killed the Lynx, but there's no way he's getting away with it. Biscuit, of course, needs to kill this guy because he is spotting him for any tank destroyers or base camping heavies who are trying to get into position in the bushes at the back of the map in order to get shots up here. Oh, there we go. It's also not unusual to see some of the heavier tanks, like the Contradictus over there, thinking that it's a good idea to try to get up here at the beginning of the match and lose all of their health in the process. So, E75 TS is not... Oh, wow, is that a Lurver? You know, I don't think I've seen one of those in years. Oh well. Well, that was a cracking shot. Just managed to get it off before pulling back around the corner. Taking some of the pressure off the E75 TS there, who obviously is probably not going to survive. There he goes, he's dead. Oh well, never mind. So, good news. They do have possession of the hill. Well, I say they. It's basically Biscuit and nobody else. Bad news, they are behind by a kill. Although the hit point difference between the two teams is nothing particularly dramatic at this moment. Of slightly more pressing concern, at least for the rest of the team, is that absolutely nobody has headed over to the island to the west. And I'm fairly sure that at least two members of the enemy team, a Lynx and an ELC, have. And that is going to expose a huge gap in the team's defences. Although the team's charioteer has put himself into a position where he can cover anybody trying to make a break from that island. Although you wouldn't expect the light tanks to do that this early. They're more likely, as enemy artillery tries to pry Biscuit out of his spot up here, it's more likely that you would kind of expect. Because if the Lynx and the ELC are on that western island, and there's no reason why they wouldn't be, in fact the Lynx has just been spotted, they're probably, certainly at this early stage of the battle, more content to just chill out and get some spotting done. Speaking of which, T28 prototype, nice, good hit. He did get spotted though. Here's the thing about the Lansen C. It is by no means a bad premium. It is also by no means an overpowered premium. Its mobility is excellent. It's only a 25-ton tank with a 680 horsepower engine. Even if the top speed isn't excellent, I mean, it's not bad. 50 kilometers per hour is perfectly fine, but it's not amazing. That extra mobility, of course, comes at the cost of armour, which is kind of surprising because he did just bounce a shot from a T28 prototype, which almost never happens in this thing because the armour is pretty much universally terrible. Also, not particularly good is the aiming time. 2.5 seconds is horrible, especially when you're in a tank with armour as bad as this, that does not react well at all to getting shot at. Bounce shot from the T28 notwithstanding. Not only is the armour bad, it's particularly vulnerable and prone to critical module and crew damage. On the bright side, because it is only a 25-ton tank, it's on the small side, which means it is quite easy for it to take advantage of available concealment like these bushes up here. Oh, and also the accuracy on the gun isn't great. Again, it's not awful, unlike the aiming time, which is awful, 2.5 seconds, but the .38 accuracy, it's, well, it's not good. It's far from good, but it's not completely terrible. It is a 105mm gun though, so it does pack a fairly decent punch. The problem that Biscuit is experiencing up here, of course, isn't so much to do with the concealment, it's to do with proximity detection. Scorpion G's making a run for it. He didn't get the shot, and of course he did get spotted because big-ass gun firing through the bushes. And that slow aiming time did come in to bite him in the ass there. He avoided the return fire from the Scorpion G, but he didn't hit him either. And he did take a hit from the S1 over there. And of course, this thing doesn't have any armour, so that hurt. The biggest issue that he's going to have here isn't so much to do with the concealment. There, you notice he got spotted before he took the shot. The T-26E5 down there. Proximity detection. They don't have to actually have line of sight to you to spot you when you're in this position on mines. They just have to be within 50 metres, and you get proxy spotted. Which is why the Scorpion G saw him before he fired and was able to get the return shot off, even though the Scorpion G missed, and, well, that Biscuit didn't. But that T-26, even though he can't actually see him, is going to see him, and is going to pose some significant problems. Proxy spotting works both ways though. He knows, even before the Sixth Sense alarm goes off, that the T-26 has gotten close enough to spot him because he spots the T-26. He also cannot see the T-26 from here, but will see him if they both get to within 50 metres of each other. Which is of course why the second the T-26 popped up, he immediately ducked back behind that rock and then waited for the T-26 to go undetected, because proxy spotting works both ways. If the T-26 goes undetected, because he's the only one who can possibly be in a position to spot him, then he knows he has also gone undetected. The difference is there's nobody on his team in a position, well, other than him, to shoot the T-26, which would be suicidal. When there's plenty of tanks on the enemy team who are in a position to shoot at him. Paying very careful attention to the minimap there, looking to see if the T-26 was going to pop up as he was taking the blind. He's over there. And it looks like it's the Rheinmetall Balsic who's spotted him this time. Type 57 heavy, nowhere near as good at taking advantage of the concealment from those bushes as a much smaller tank like the Lansen C over here. Looks like the Rheinmetall's decided it's too crowded up here. And the proximity of the T-26 is posing just as many problems for the Rheinmetall as it was for Nab Biscuit. The ELC's made his move. He's going for the artillery. And he's got him. The friendly charioteer, who has been sitting in that position this entire match, waiting exactly for this to happen. Ooh. That was... yeah. Not much use to the team alive, really, was he? So, again, they're one kill behind, but also, again, the hit point disparity between the two teams is nothing dramatic. But, that ELC's not going to try to cap, is he? Well, not so far. Also, the Lynx. Oh, he is trying to cap. Clearly, the ELC is being played by somebody who has never seen Monty Python's How Not to Be Seen. Because while the ELC of 37 Napier Court Basingstoke has learned the first lesson of How Not to Be Seen, do not stand up, he has chosen a rather obvious spot of cover. Because that's a completely open gap circle with one bush, so it's not hard to guess where he might be. It's just hard to hit him because he's such a small top. No, there we go, he's hit. I mean, where else is he going to be? That bush is the only possible piece of concealment in that entire gap circle. Well, the ELC has been incentivised to abandon the gap circle, although he's probably still lurking around there somewhere. And just for a moment there, the team were actually even on kills. And then the Type 57 got killed by that Scorpion G, who did also spot Nab Biscuit making his way up here. As the friendly Scorpion G, he was on the ridge to the rear, makes his way up to this central spot of high ground. There's no way that was ever going to hit. Not with the 2.5 second aiming time and horrible accuracy on the move with hold reversal. The Ferdinand, however, he can afford to take a few risks because he does actually have some armour. I mean, he's obviously spotted, but big strong tank destroyer does not care. Although we might care if artillery start ranging in on him, but he's taking out the T-28 prototype. Good man. So the Scorpion G over there just ran out of friends. Now, as well as the Lynx, and potentially also the ELC, there is now also an enemy Rheinmetall Balsic on that island over the west, so you really don't want to be advancing any further forward than this, where you're opening yourself up to flanking fire. Oh! friendly Rheinmetall Borsig down to the rear there, who is still covering the cap circle. There he is. Great shooting there, taking out the Scorpion G. They are now ahead by a single kill. And once again, despite the friendly lurver, yeah, 2 of them in one battle. I know, wonders will never cease. But despite the friendly lurver taking a hit, making his way up to the hill, not entirely sure what a great big, slow and very obvious and hard to conceal heavy tank thinks he's going to do up there. But, well, despite his taking a hit on the way up there, the hit point difference between the two teams is basically identical. Still, this is actually quite a close match. Well, with the Rheinmetall Borsig covering the cap circle, and also from that position, although the firing angles aren't great, covering the Western Island, Nad Biscuit decides he's going to go and try to spot some of those sneaky little enemy buggers. Trying. He's wondering if it's worth taking some shots at the bushes. I'd suggest that yes, maybe it is, but you... Oh, hang on. He's not in a position to shoot at the links at the moment. And he's kind of hoping that he's got some teammates who can, because he's basically... Well, this is the World of Tanks equivalent of giving a nice big, flat, juicy broadside to shoot at in World of Warships. I mean, he could take a shot at the links, he could take some shots at the bushes, but he'd be spotted by anybody else over there, and, well, the ELC could be there spotting, and we know there's a Rheinmetall Borsig on that island somewhere, and he's not really in a position to duck back into hard cover, because he would get spotted instantly he took the shot. So he didn't bother risking it. It was a shame nobody else on the team was in a position to take advantage of the links getting momentarily spotted. Like I said, the Rheinmetall Borsig was technically in a position to cover the island, but the firing angles from the corner over there were not great. So instead, Nad Biscuit has other plans. Been very quiet around this side of the map for the last couple of minutes. There was, possibly still is, an enemy Alembic, I have no idea what that is, some kind of medium tank, who has been giving the team significant problems, camping his own base at the back there. And judging by the fact that Nad hasn't actually gotten spotted yet, he might still be there. He certainly hasn't bothered trying to flank around here to the rear of the hill. This was a risky move, because if the Alembic had still been in slash report position, Nad would have been getting shot at long before getting this close. But it was a calculated risk, because the majority of the enemy team are over on the west, and with the Alembic being forced to do his own spotting... Ooh, and there he is! It's here where a couple of things work against Nad in the Lansen C. First, that horribly slow aiming time and firing on the move, and second, the first shot from the Alembic did damage his engine. If he'd been a little bit faster with the repair kit, he might not have taken that second hit. So, I mean, technically you could call that a mistake, but it's a fairly minor one, even if it did cost him most of his health, and it's a very, very simple one to make in the heat of the moment. Certainly not going to judge him too harshly for it. And he did get the Alembic spotted, and he wasn't the only one who hit him. And he knows exactly where he is. The Alembic is now basically pinned behind that rock. He cannot move anywhere. It does have concealment around the corner of that rock, though, which is not something that you can say about Nad here around the corner of this rock. So if the Alembic is in the bush around the corner of that rock and looking this way, this move would have been suicidal, but, well, there's less than 2 minutes to go. Sometimes you just have to take the risk. And he gets him. And now, of course, because there is a Rheinmetall Borsig on that island over there, he wastes absolutely no time getting into the cover of the rock that the Alembic was hiding behind. He should have gone undetected by now. They now have a 2-kill advantage. It's probably a good idea, friendly Scorpion G certainly seems to think so, to get into this cap circle. Because there's only 1 minute and 16 seconds of this battle left. And you're not going to win, even on a very small map like Mines, by chasing around after sneaky tank destroyers and scout tanks and armoured cars with a minute to go. Far better to get into the cap circle and force them to come to you. Not necessarily safer, because they're probably going to get the first shot off, depending on the available concealment. And the Scorpion G just got hit. Yep, somebody saw him, somebody hit him. They were 15 seconds away from winning, and the cap got reset. There's the ELC. The friendly Rheinmetall Borsig has made it over to the island, looking for the links and the enemy Rheinmetall Borsig, but they've clearly relocated, which must mean they're coming this way. Yeah, you're not going to win by capping now. You need to kill them. Scorpion G's going for it. They've taken out the ELC. There's the Lynx. Yeah, everybody's charging this guy now. Even the Ferdinand, the Lerva, and the Rheinmetall Borsig, although they're way too slow to be able to do anything. In the 15 seconds left in this battle, the enemy Borsig just got spotted. 10 seconds left. They're both spotted. The Lerva on the hill is aiming at the Lynx. He's got him. Nad's going to get one shot here with that 2.5 second aiming time. He's got him with 1 second to go. He didn't even wait for it to fully aim. He didn't have time. His choices were literally pull the trigger with the gun not fully aimed and roll the dice and take your chances, or lose to a draw. Unfortunately, Orange Jesus smiled on him. I've seen some tight results in World of Tanks, but I think that one takes the Nad Biscuit. Get it? Biscuit? Nad Bit? No. I'll get my coat. Don't worry. I know the way out. Hope you all enjoyed it. And as always, take care. And I'll catch you next time.